Welcome. This is Darling in the FranXX Trigger Bois.
Whoa!
Last episode.
Fuck!
Hell
Fuck!
Well, it's not just the last episode; it's the last few episodes, baby.
the
episodes or
last
some
6,
shit.
18.
6 episodes.
It's like
I don't remember. It's been
like
so
we're-
long since I've actually finished.
it's
this
been
show.
so long. It's like we're different people now.
Yeah, it's literally like, what is it, a month or so after the FranXX finished, but this is episode 18.
It's
through
fine. People still
24.
talk about this show.
Yeah,
I forgot about it existing for a couple weeks.
we're relevant. We swear.
It's been a while. Who the fuck are we?
Who are we?
I am the host
I'm
here,
burping, by
and
the
I
way.
am Vamp the Vampire, Vamp Cavendish, best vampire around. Still, it's amazing. I'm great.
All right, I'm Niall. I'm your local psycho feminist SJW.
I'm Munzie, and I should have saved my burp for my introduction as a good bit, but I didn't.
Munzie's a rapper now, right, Munzie?
I haven't released my song. Well, I don't know if my song's gonna be out by the time this is released. But it's not even like a song. It's just the fucking anime cipher that I've been too lazy to edit a video for. It's recorded.
I just like the
song is
idea of
edited.
you introducing yourself as a rapper. So
With the hippity hops.
I wrote a rap song. Yeah, I'm a rapper now.
oh,
I guess
fuck.
so. More on the way, I guess.
We're getting to
Making
more
empty
diverse
promises.
by the second. All right. So,
Let's talk about some FranXX.
Oh,
So-
God.
for the people who have watched the series thus far, thank you. Great. We're gonna be running through not scene by scene, but the episodes fairly quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we're
episode-
cramming 6 episodes into one episode of the podcast because, and we should probably, I guess, should we preface this why this is the way it's happening?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's because we're a bunch of lazy assholes.
Well, not like there's a lot of reasons. One, it's because we're too lazy to record, but I think our laziness to record comes, especially mine, comes from such a deep hatred for the show that I didn't even want to watch Darling in the FranXX like to record the podcast because I love recording this podcast, but I just can't stand watching Darling in the FranXX. So
wow, you're a big baby.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Yeah.
But
I
also,
thought it was
we had a lot of
because you
life
got-
shit going on. Lots of reasons.
No, it's because the truth is that Munzie got really into
Drumlet
Magic the
Nation.
card game. Is what it was.
No, it was not.
Shots fired.
I'm calling you out on air.
This is a lie. This is
I
a
can't record
fake, a
tonight. I'm playing
falsity,
Magic.
A
telling me you
fake
never said
ass
that?
news. About to call President Donald J. Trump, and he's gonna be like, these Trigger Boys are bashing on my good pal Munzie over some Chinese animes.
You know,
Chinese
he'll be like, I bet CNN will report this like fake news. That's not his voice, but all right. So
Sounded like some sassy gay man.
that's what
They're
Donald
gonna
Trump
do this
is.
like some fucking gay news, some fake ass news.
Oh my god.
God,
so
now
bad at
I'm
voices.
just an asshole. All right, let's move on. We're done with this.
All right. So, yeah, Darling the FranXX is a thing, but we're getting into it now. Episode 18 is the wedding episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
this episode.
This was one of the worst. I think this stood out as like one of my least favorite episodes, if not my least favorite episode in the series. By the way, it's been a while since we've been around, so if anybody watches this episode having not seen our previous episodes, we don't really like Darling in the FranXX, and
No.
I mean I probably made that clear, but I speak for all of us when I say like none of us really like this show. So
Yeah.
I haven't given it a score yet, even though I've completed it and marked it down as watching it like 2 or 3 times or something.
we can do that at the end. I'm gonna make
That's
Vamp
the
do a
plan.
score at the end to even if he doesn't have one fully thought out yet. We're gonna do it. We'll give scores at the end.
Yeah. I'm gonna let this whole process sort of let myself develop.
You won't believe
through
what
it.
I gave Darling in the FranXX after this.
1 out of 10.
Clickbait. Clickbait. All right.
Yeah,
That's what I should put on the title of
You
this
won't believe Munzie's score.
video. You
Hot
wouldn't believe
Asian
this anime
singles
reviewer's
in your
score.
area who don't like Darling in the FranXX.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, that's your type.
That's my type.
All right, yeah. So what the fuck happened in this
So,
episode, man?
3 things happened in this episode. Just 3.
Only 3
One,
things.
the kids started preparation for the wedding between Mitsuru and Kokoro. They did it based on what they saw in the children's book that 02 has. We've talked about that in the past. Second thing that happened, a lesbian scene between Ichigo and Glasses
I
Girl.
forgot about that.
Woo!
Yay! They
Um,
did it! Wow, my
They-
God! Lesbians! I
did-
never saw it
they did a
coming.
gay.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was a heart-to-heart, and nothing really crazy happened from what I remember.
I mean, didn't they get like shot down or
Oh
something?
no, we're talking about the
That's a-
lesbos with their legs closed. That's a
Yeah.
line from a Lou the Human song.
I think Lucy, you're thinking of the third thing that happened, which is the wedding got shut down by the police. Or
No, I know the
Papa
wedding
people.
gets shut down. I thought that the lesbians didn't get together because Ichigo was like, "Bitch, I'm straight." Like,
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
She, and
It's
also
kind of a
and also
shame, 'cause
like
that was
I
like
have
that was
I
like
have
low
a
key the best
dangerous
ship in the show.
I have a
so.
dangerous obsession with Hiro, as well. You know.
Yeah.
Rawr.
Well, it's a shame.
I have
Alright,
an
so yeah,
unhealthy relationship with the person who I consider the one I love.
So the lesbian shit is that was kind of cute. A missed opportunity that they didn't go through on it. I mean, it was also kind of like stupid and pointless.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
it didn't. It was just like, oh look, lesbian characters, and then it was done with.
Putting
They hinted at it
putting
like
together the
twice.
whether that wedding was hammy and stupid and dumb. And the wedding getting shot down by all of those soldier mooks was also really hammy and dumb. And it's like, oh, it's a dystopia. Oh, they're
God,
shutting
like-
it down. They're shutting down love.
Like this, like I just felt like I was writing the show for them when I was like I feel like it's kind of like a douchebag thing to say. It's like, oh, I was predicting what was happening, but like I did, like you just knew because it's the most basic fucking shit in the world. Like that's just what happens in these kinds of stories. I'm so
yeah.
used to it, and they do it in like the blandest of ways.
That's the worst
I would
part, is the
say-
bland part, because it's boring. Honestly,
It is bland. See, what's mind-boggling with me about this show, and my experience with it, is that this show is a collection of curveballs, right? It's always like, I'm always blown away by the decisions, the story-making decisions that they make, and yet it is like one of the most boring shows that I've ever watched, like simultaneously.
Yeah,
Where it's like stuff, it never makes sense, and it's never good either, you know?
it's like
Yeah, well, remember how I said from very early on that this show is very good at making up for its mistakes later, like after the fact, where it's been
Yeah.
like where they won't explain some shit that they should have explained earlier, or then they'll just bring it in later. Like when I think it's like what happened with the lesbian girl is that they were just like hinting off on this, and then they were like, oh yeah, we have to fucking close this little bit, you know.
oh yeah,
And
it was
Yeah,
so
it's the
never
Lost
goes
effect.
anywhere.
If anybody's watched the TV show Lost, like you
Yeah,
just put
it's
shit in there
exactly
that you
that.
think's gonna be weird and interesting and shocking, and then figure out how to explain it later. You know?
Yeah, it's like instead of explaining it, they just take the plot threads and are just like, oh, it just goes in the least interesting direction. It goes in the least interesting direction.
Because
you
all they
know?
needed to do for their own satisfaction is just have an idea instead of developing an
wrap
idea.
have the
Doesn't feel
premise and then
developed.
wrap it up for the sake of it not being a plot hole, you know?
Mhm. So yeah, that's
Yup.
what's going on in 18.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember
anything
what.
else?
And yeah, this is gonna be every episode from now on is probably gonna be like this, maybe even less in depth than this because I didn't have shit to say about like as much to say about the other episodes, and I don't even because I feel like I'm redundant. If you went back and watched, if you've listened to all of our other episode podcasts up through episode 17, then you're gonna know what I'm gonna say for a lot of things already. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Alrighty. So, what do you guys? Are we done with 18?
I am.
I got nothing else to say.
Got nothing else either.
Yeah, it was a pretty straightforward episode for FranXX, and
Yeah,
pretty
like I
fucking
said,
boring.
really only 3 things happened, and it was just really 2 things if you just think about the wedding happening and it ending. So with episode 19, this is what I'm gonna call the Dr. FranXX episode, because it's literally a
this
whole
episode,
flashback
yeah.
to his
Oh
past.
yeah, this is a flashback episode, right?
Yep.
Yep,
forgot
full
about
flashback. So
Young Dr. FranXX has the best character design in this show.
that. Well, young Dr. FranXX is literally just the main character from Mushishi.
Yeah.
Like, one for one with different color hair.
Yeah.
Like
But
it's
still.
uncanny. They look so
Even then, he's hands down the best character design in the show.
Yeah, that's not saying.
His
That's not
his
saying
assistant looked pretty alright too. I kind of wish that that it was about those two characters, to be honest. Instead, because what they had going on was like their character designs were better. I felt like their characters were like more intriguing than some of the main characters we were following. At least young Dr. FranXX, it seemed like he had more going on.
Right.
And the his assistant was just kind of hot. So
Yeah, didn't he? Weren't they like married at some point?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure, but yeah, she ends up dying because he's a researcher for this stuff, and it turns out that like only people who can still produce, who are still like fertile, and were incapable of having children, which as we know happened to a lot of other humans for some reason.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, because I don't remember, because the series
because
kinda sucks.
fucking reasons. I don't remember. Like, did they explain it? And if they explained it, I would like to know what it is. But I feel like if it was interesting, I would have remembered it because it would have been the first interesting thing about this show.
Yeah. I remember
I
it
don't
being
fucking
like,
know.
I remember it being like, oh, this is just kind of like to like make the plot make sense, but it was extremely boring and not really relevant elsewhere, other than, oh, this is adding to the dystopian like drapings, tapestry on the wall, where it's like, it doesn't actually have any substance behind that. You know, it's like we got hay walls behind the tapestry. Like, LOL. Hi guys. But yeah, there's not much really of significance. You'd think a flashback episode to the creator of
Yeah, it did kind of tell us a lot of things we already knew. Like, all it really did tell us that we didn't know was the history of Dr. FranXX, which I guess, like, he is a character that we don't know much about, but we see a good amount of him on screen. So, like, I guess it's justified, but, like, it does nothing. It's an awkward pause in the storyline, especially since the last episode left on kind of a cliffhanger. Like, oh, the wedding got in trouble. What's going to happen next? And that's it. And then we have to wait a whole other episode of bullshit.
I wish they
before
gave this
we
to
can,
us
like,
over
get to
time.
Yeah.
I really wanted like the Dr. Frank stuff over time, because doing one big flashback episode, first of all, we don't need that much flashback to the past. Second of all, we could have done this over time and not also have been flashback to the past.
I recently learned, having just binged watched Junie Tyson recently, that that long, like, almost full episodes of flashbacks, it just kind of made me realize that, like, they almost never work in any story. I much prefer my flashbacks to just be like small little tidbits of information spread over the whole story.
Yeah, we did have this discussion the other day. My personal opinion is that flashbacks do often, not necessarily inherently, but they do often like fuck with the pacing of a show. I also think that in theory they don't make for very good content, because the story should be taking place at the most interesting timeline for the story. So if what's happening in the past is in fact so interesting that we should be looking at it, the story should have started there, or it should be about that instead.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think, like, flashbacks are good to add context sometimes when needed.
But they're not entertaining.
They can be.
They can be emotional sometimes if we kind of already know what to expect
be
and see the
entertaining.
emotions on the faces.
I just don't.
But if they're
like them when
if they're
they're
entertaining,
take
why
away
not start
from
the story
the whole.
there?
Why can't both be interesting? I guess is my question.
Because then the flashback is breaking up the story.
It doesn't have to, though. Like, you can do it well.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. from what I remember.
All right, I've never. I mean, hashtag not all.
Rakugo
of
Shinju
course.
started out on what was
Hashtag
like
not
on,
all.
on I guess started out in a flash forward, but like the whole show was a flashback from like the first episode, kinda. You know?
Okay, that's a different situation. I
I was like, wait,
feel.
but whatever.
Also,
like,
fuck Rakugo Shinji.
this show is V good. Thank you very much.
So yeah, that's my personal ideas on flashbacks. Is like I think I prefer that the context that they are supposed to give be given in other ways, right?
Oh yeah, I think that's a thing that like anime should do more often. Is that what I was trying to get at earlier was like we could have been given this knowledge of Dr. FranXX making remarks or being in his office doing something or seeing a piece of paper on his desk that sort of gave us some information to the past, maybe some newspaper clip or something. Like I would like that
whatever.
than like, oh, we just get a full
A
episode
whole
of
episode
flashback. It's
of a show
pretty-
where a whole episode could have been put towards maybe setting up for that total blindsiding, not foreshadowed at all curveball that we get later. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Instead of just being placed on this sort of not that important side character.
Yeah, I think it's
You know?
honestly just they're like, oh shit, we gotta build up FranXX, Dr. FranXX, so he's a character we kind of care about by the end, because till this point he just seems like an asshole that like maybe kind of a genuinely good guy and know humans well. And think of them as humans and not just robots or tools.
I
But
still
then
think he's a
also
bad
we
guy.
can't really feel like that at all, you know?
He did torture a kid, so
Oh
He-
yeah.
I mean, like all the kids that are part of the fucking FranXX project, their group, the main group, is just like a pet project for him. Like
Oh, yeah.
they're his experiment group or whatever, you know. Like they don't even like they're not. I wouldn't say like not important. But, like they're literally just being like experiment material for this psychotic guy.
Oh yeah. He clearly
Because-
has like big
He has his
intentions and
issues.
things going on.
Because
I just found it
we'll
hard
get into
to-
the fucking end of this.
Hmm.
Oh, by the way, Lucy, I just totally realized your vote for best character design is just wrong, and it's the Dragon Princess.
no.
Dragon Princess is hot as fuck.
No, her character design's ugly.
No, you're wrong. She's hot as fuck.
She can be hot and not have a good character design, Munzie.
I still think she has a pretty good character design.
All right.
I dig it. I dig it.
All right.
It's just like
All right.
better 02 looking, you know?
Yeah, she's honestly my favorite design. Because Zero Two was my favorite design before. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that it was hard for me to get a read on Dr. FranXX, though his actions showed that he was like a bad guy. I also kind of got vibes the show was trying to tell me, yeah, he might be kind of good or he might have some grander thing in mind. But yeah, that's really all I got for FranXX, other than at the end of this episode, he like seems to be gained an obsession with wanting to sync up with the Klaxosaur princess.
Yeah, I guess his whole life mission was to do that. That's why like someone like 02 was like his first like project, you know.
Yeah. So instantly after his wife dies, which was his like coworker, in like experiment, he like kind of is like, oh okay, I'm just gonna continue doing my stuff and get like hard into my work.
He
Just only
like
concentrate on
met the
work.
Dragon Princess for the first time before he got married, right?
I think it was after, because that's when she takes her arm. His arm is the first time they meet. That's how his arm and his eyes out of his face is because the Klaxosaur princess, chopped that stuff out. Chopped
That was
the arm
before
off,
he
poked
met his
the eye
wife,
out.
though. Yeah,
After, I believe.
after he met his wife. Okay,
So the whole like
so he like fell in love with this Klaxosaur princess like after he met his wife.
yeah. So his wife died, just got obsessed with his work, and then now part of his obsession is now with Klaxosaur princess because it's partly connected to his stuff, and he saw just beauty in her. That's a word he uses a lot for some of the Klaxosaurus stuff.
Because he's a pedophile, just like Digibro, right?
Don't bring that
Take
shit
that,
into our
did you, bro?
Don't bring this hot bullshit YouTube drama into our podcast. I
don't even
none of
think that,
I
but
don't
I'm
wanna
bringing
have
it up
anything to do with
anyways.
Any of that shit.
Thomas C. sucks a dick and he's stupid. Go get a life, you 40-year-old faggot.
Whoa. I mean, I
Digibro
don't
might
like
be a
Tommy
pedophile.
C. I'm not talking about pedophilia on this fucking podcast, alright?
All right, I don't want
That's
to
for
get
the
into
pe-
that. I just
that's for
wanted
the
to call someone
pedocast,
an
all right?
asshole.
The pedocast.
God,
Oh, no.
That sounds controversial.
Yo, Google just got a hit right now with that word, pedocast.
Oh yeah, we're. I mean, we don't get fucking ad revenue.
FBI,
on this
open
podcast
up.
anyways. But if we did, we would have just gotten taken the fuck down because you just dropped faggot back there,
Oh,
and
no.
we just dropped pedophile a few times.
We're
Yeah,
gonna lose
no-
our
no
YouTube
ad recs for us.
monetization. Oh no!
My
Video
3 cents. Oh no!
Oh, hell yeah.
Wanted to buy an ice cream.
3 cents could get me a couple houses in a
this
while.
this show will
Get it.
never make enough money to buy any amount of ice cream.
Probably not.
Yeah, unfortunate truth. Alrighty.
Maybe someday.
Do we have anything else for episode 19?
No. I don't have anything.
So, this next episode, they're mostly at what they call the nest, which is after the whole like incident of the them being stuck at their like estate after the big match and everything getting wiped out. There's apparently a sort of settlement with the rest of the cadets, militants, whatever you want to call them. So they go there, it's like basically like a big camp, and they're just kind of like, oh, Kokoro and Mitsuru aren't out, they aren't released.
Oh yeah,
because they're erasing their memories and then re-brainwashing them.
well, like they're erasing their memories of each other.
Yeah, and all the weddings stuff.
And then they're like, yeah, you still have to work together. And Kokoro's still wearing the wedding ring. They left the fucking wedding ring on her. Like, they didn't do, like, a thorough fucking search to make sure she didn't have any of that shit anymore. Like, what? And then they were just like okay with letting the rest of them explain that they were previously married and still know what marriage is. Like, I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of like convenient like forgetfulness or not thoroughness by the people who are literally like
Whose job it
trying
is to be on top of their shit.
Yeah, to down to letter, completely 100% because they can do that. These kids basically don't have rights. They just kind of go along with what's happening because they get fed.
And I've said this before, like, they are not breeding good soldiers.
Yeah.
They're just not.
I think we brought this up like every episode
Yeah, because every episode's the fucking
later
same.
on in the series. Yeah, because
This
it's
show
just
just
so
sucks.
obvious that this dystopian society is oppressive to no particular end because the military, well, they are effective, but they shouldn't be. They're effective because of anime bullshit, not because of the reasons why they're oppressed. I mean, if anything, I'm pretty sure that love saves the day in the end, so they were just wrong, and always, and the kids loving each other actually would have helped them. So yeah, fuck this show.
All right. So
How many times are we going to say fuck this show before this podcast is
We
over?
need a counter.
We're going to over under on 1 million.
Give us a little Cinema Sins ding every time we say that.
Yeah, make Vamp do a ton of...
Ding.
This episode's not going to come out until fucking
Ding.
October at that rate.
All right. So in the rest of this episode of 20, they're sort of they set off on I believe the big mission or a big combat.
The big mission. Could you imagine if that was the
you
name
know
of
that
the
typical
episode?
ending.
Could you imagine
sort of
if
thing?
it was the name of the episode? It was just called like Episode 20, The Big Mission.
I believe it, to be honest.
Or is this episode 21 we're talking about?
We're talking about 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So I gave a little extra information. So this episode seems to be mostly around this battle, and what this is I believe aliens are invading. I believe that's a thing that's happening.
Out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, really out of
This
nowhere.
is something that I want to address because this is like kind of the biggest problem I have with the way this story was written. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? People were complaining about this show and they were like, "Oh my god, it got so bad at the end because they just threw this big twist in there," and like it didn't deserve a place. And I agree that the ending is bullshit and just thrown in there because they needed an ending.
Yeah.
But first of all, these people need to recognize that this entire show was garbage the whole way through, and not just at the end. But I guess that's just my opinion. But they didn't set, like, the biggest problem is it's not because it had this weird ending, right? The problem is that they didn't set it up for it to be that way. It's just some bullshit.
It's literally just a plot
surprise
twist for shock. Literally.
and like it's just an ending that's just thrown in there because they need an ending. And that's the biggest problem. It's like, and even on top of that, you can still see it coming. Maybe you can't see that they're gonna have this Gurren Lagann inspired with air quotes, this Gurren Lagann style ending that just came out of nowhere. Instead, you don't know what it's gonna be with the aliens and them traveling through space and whatever.
Yeah, there's no lead up or any signs of any of it.
But you still know that something like that's gonna happen because they did not set up for the show to have a conclusion yet. There was still more than almost, I guess it would be like 3/4 of the way through the show at this point. They don't have a fucking ending set up.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Not even more than 3/4. Like
The ending only becomes really how the show is going to end only comes into the picture once the aliens suddenly show up, and then it's obvious at that point. It's just that they're going to kill
and now
them
you're
all
just holding
somehow.
it off. Now you're just holding off for the end.
Just a
That's
Gurren
it.
Lagann ending. Just gotta kill the anti-spirals or whatever.
Hey,
not a
Gurren
Gurren
Lagann
Lagann
goes in
ending.
some fucking unexpected directions. Did you expect hyperdense space? Did you expect space water? No. No, you didn't.
Kill la Kill goes in the same
But-
territory of wacky.
But with both of those shows, you expect the unexpected. You know with Gurren Lagann is 20x episodes of just ramping up. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just you start out literally underground, and then you build your way up and up and up, and it goes in intensity up and up
shoot
and
into
up
the heavens.
until they literally pierce the fucking heavens and defeat God.
Hell
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, that's the worst part is that they tried to cover this up so much and make it like a surprise actually, because in this episode they start off fighting the Calaxosaurs, and like then aliens come when the Calaxosaur princess and 02 and Hero are all in this big like ultimate weapon Dr. FranXX made. And that's like the dramatic scene where, Calaxosaur princess gives her all her energy to save both 02 and Hero and let them try to save the day, but I think they still lost in the end. But she died. And hey, we gotta fight the aliens now, kind of thing. That's just like the whole episode, cause
yeah, but then I feel like these last few episodes kind of like blend in for me. Do they do that for you?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are for me. A lot of all I remember is like Klaxosaurs and mechas fighting fucking aliens, and then like the final episode.
Oh, I guess there was like a big battle, right? Where like Dr. FranXX dies and like 02 and the Dragon Princess like fused together and shit. Or
What? We
whatever.
can't even fucking figure out what's
And then
happening.
Hero
I think
saves
that's, like,
them with
this
the power
episode.
of love.
Yeah, I think that's.
And
this
then
episode.
Hero and 02 just fucking blast off into space for a few like years.
Okay, that's the next few episodes.
Wait. They blast off into space for a few years? I
Yeah,
don't
they're
remember
traveling
this.
through space for a few years.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Why?
at first, 02 became this.
Because that's how
big
long
ship.
it takes for them to get to the fucking aliens.
Oh, all right. This sets up the episodes next perfectly since they do blend together so well. And that's kind of why I like these last few episodes more than some of the middle body of the series, because it just kind of feels like it's episodic and it has a very structural part of the episodes. For this, it just kind of feels like it's like might as well have been a movie at the end, honestly.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
So, is there
Watch,
anything left?
that's gonna come out. They're gonna have movies. I bet they're gonna.
Oh.
There's no way they're done with Darling and the Franxx as a property because it was really successful.
I'm telling you guys, we're gonna come back and we're gonna have to do season 2.
Guys, Trigger better not be involved. 'Cause
Trigger, I'm gonna
then I
kill
won't
you.
feel obligated to talk about it.
Oh yeah. All right. So I think that's about it for episode 20. The next episodes, I think I'm just gonna go off of my memory because my memory's way better than trying to get to put them into parts of episodes, because it just doesn't make sense that way, like we said earlier. So next, what happens? Since they're like you're talking about the willpower saving both of them, and the Princess Klaxor's energy, that whole thing. This big robot ends up getting taken away by the Klaxosaurs. Not Klaxosaurs, but the aliens. Where this is like a weird Halo 4 or 5 situation where there's like 3 different enemies or something, 3 different factions. But the aliens, they take it away. 02 and Hero are both on Earth. And now everyone's just kind of like, the aliens aren't here. And they said that they're going to be back or something like that. But right now we just kind of have to farm land to keep everyone alive. And so they kind of just have like a good few scenes with that. And while that they're trying to figure out that problem because the soil is screwed because the magma
Right.
is what gave the land its energy, which came from dead Klaxosaur bodies. The magma, that is.
Mhm.
So they have to deal with that problem. Everyone's focused on that. And Hero is like 02 seeming depressed, and she's just not talking. She's just kind of like walking around places and looking at the sky. So he's very worried about her, and so he's not really helping out, trying to figure out the problem. And so what ends up happening is that he realizes, when she's looking out into space or something, that he somehow like connects dots in his head that 02 is literally the ship that the aliens stole in space right now.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
All right. So now this ship is on the attack on the aliens or something, and he needs to go be with her to help her. And so he goes up into space and
That's right. They stole, and then because her body like froze, and Hero was still there, and then Hero like figured out what the fuck he had to do to go save 02. That's right.
Yep, and then everyone came to help him get to 02, and then they all kind of came back, except for the Nines team, the demon children. They all end up dying because they can't eat regular human food. So they're like, let's go for battle. That was
Because they weren't the main
purpose anyway.
characters.
Yeah, basically. And they needed people to die, so why not just kill off the people who are assholes the whole time? And, we're outsiders to really everyone.
Who we don't even empathize with because they've only been douchebags for the entire show.
Mm-hmm. And then they kind of go along with it because they want to die or something. It's really unclear why they do this stuff, but they seem super loyal to Papa.
Yeah.
And that was their whole gimmick, is that like no matter what, they'd just be like, I don't want to eat, or I'm not gonna.
Wait, wasn't like Papa like a puppet for like the aliens or some shit?
Yep, it literally. There was
he turned into a giant star and fucked off.
him and
Like,
two other of the council
What the
were the
fuck?
collective of the Star People or something. And these are Star People, by the way. They're literally like
They're
aura.
literally
like-
giant kill stars
Yeah.
with
And
like
they can talk and
faces.
everything. And they're like, oh, we're going to put you out of
Is-
your misery, take you out of your human mortal coils. And that's their gimmick.
Is this the episode where we learn about the origin of the Klaxosaurs?
I believe that was the FranXX episode. I figured we'd get to it anyway, so I
Okay.
didn't really mention it there. It would have been very bloated, jumping from lore piece to lore piece.
Okay.
I'm
It's
in
kooky.
misery, baby.
So now it's basically just a battle for the last like 2 episodes or something.
Space battle.
Guess who wins?
Oh, yeah, do you want to-
I'll give you a couple more seconds. Place your comments down below. We'll see how you guys do.
Predict winner gets nothing because you had to sit through the rest of this fucking show to watch it, so you've already lost.
No one's a winner. The only people who actually who benefited was the anime creators. And that doesn't matter because we're the viewers and we got screwed. Oh, help us all. So what ends up happening is, I believe 02, like literally the ship that we've been talking about that's going to go on the attack on the aliens, starts to resemble 02. And then
That's putting it lightly.
like we'll probably have a screenshot or something right here for the people in the video, but I'm sure most of the people who've been following FranXX have seen the memes. But she's like basically just a human flying ship. Looks like she has skin
She's
and
got
everything, and like
Big ship
emotes.
titties, which
The-
is
the
fucking
biggest-
weird.
The biggest in the whole world, really. I don't think you can get any bigger than that.
She didn't really
Bigger than
scale
Hero's body,
proportionally.
That's no moon. Come on, you guys didn't like my hot Star Wars reference?
I didn't pick up.
I'm not
I didn't
a
pick
nerd.
up on it. Yeah.
I didn't pick up on it.
Well, maybe the
What do
audience
you think? What do you think? I'm a
laughed.
fucking nerd. I watch Star Wars. What the fuck is
What am
wrong with
I?
you?
What do you think? I'm a faggot?
All right, let's move on.
Viv, your use of the word faggot has increased drastically this evening, and I'm not sure I'm okay with it.
Guys, I'm a alt writer. I kill every
He's
Jew
an edgy
every
libertarian.
day.
That's his job. All right, we knew this going in.
The government can't take away my words.
Free
speech or no speech?
Darling
Free
the
speech or
Franks,
no
darling the
speech?
Franks, darling the Franks.
All right.
Do I have freedom from speech? Can I be free from talking about Darling of the Franks?
No, you're forced into this.
No.
It's either free speech or no speech.
Oh no! I'm gonna die.
All right. So, what do you guys think? Because that's basically the end of the series.
Fucking
There's just
stupid.
scenes afterwards on Earth, I believe.
Don't
and
they
that's
fly
it.
into a portal at some point?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
they
that's
go
when.
fuck up the aliens.
So that's when everyone's helping out Hero get to 02, and that's when they like really depart and everyone goes back because they're not going to follow them through the portal because they know it's going to be a long trip. So yeah, it was like I think the whole trip was like 4 years or something, wasn't it? Because they come back.
It was really fucking long time.
They come back and some of the people already have kids, like Kokoro and Mitsuru already have kids. Yeah, and then like they all look like adults now. Lesbian girl. They all found all the. By the way, I should probably say this now. Is that they found all the people, all the kids who were shipped off away into those in the beginning of the series. Naomi, the girl who just didn't.
Oh yeah,
perform well
she's
enough.
just fucking back. And
Yeah,
like,
because they all put them in like cryostasis or something to store them away.
yeah, but like, she just doesn't she like fucking? Isn't she also a lesbian? And doesn't
Well,
she marry a
apparently
lesbian?
she seems to be working very closely with our lesbian with the glasses. So I can assume that she is.
That character hasn't been around since the first episode, at least that character design has not.
So that was like a thing that happened. You know, it's like, oh, this progression of time, which was pretty interesting. Probably the most interesting out of the last parts of the last part of the series, just because it's like, oh, the character designs actually kind of look cool now and don't kind of look as bland as I remember them.
So you want to talk about the flavor of this like sort of resolution stage for me is kind of tastes like missed opportunity because I feel like the character designs were better. I felt like the almost like the relationships between the characters were a bit more interesting post plot, and the environment of the world looked a lot more cool. Like I liked all of the big dead mecha with like plants growing everywhere. The art was actually like it was decent. I felt like the environments were more interesting and like pretty to look at in those last few scenes than really they had ever been before.
I didn't pick up on that
for you,
but I hope it had been that way from the start.
Yeah.
Just interesting to look
when
at.
a series would be more interesting after the apocalypse, but not during. That's pretty sad, Darling the FranXX.
Yeah.
Pretty sad.
It was pretty sad. Can we talk about how the Klaxosaurs are like the descriptions of them was like really stupid?
Sure.
So they were like ancient people who
That came before humans.
Who became a mecha to fight off the aliens, and then they went inside the earth and became warlike and forgot that they were people. So then they started killing the humans on the surface until the aliens showed up and they remembered their true purpose. Is that what did I get that right?
I mean, basically, it's actually very reminiscent of Cross Ange for whoever's seen that, because spoiler alert, in that series, the dragon enemies that are shown in the beginning are literally like a race of people who had to evolve into, I believe they either evolved from or into dragons, and that was their whole thing. It was weird. So that's basically what happened. Here is like they had to evolve. They went underground and they had to evolve so that they could survive. And then, they became the Klaxosaur mechs are basically collectives most of the time.
Yeah,
it seems like,
like
that's mostly the case. It kind of melded into one thing.
It was pretty whatever.
It's actually like kind of cool how it's like they just seem like the lifeline of the Earth, and that they should have been our allies this whole time.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
And that's the twist, and that's the fucking bullshit twist at the end.
I was just like, why were they fighting these people on the surface? Like, why were they such a big
because the people
problem?
were using the magma energy for energy.
Yeah, they were using it like crazy, and that's how they evolved so quickly to the point of, the technological advances they have now, which was also in the FranXX episode. Not the Dr. FranXX episode is what I meant. So, yeah. Is there any other little things we forgot to tie up here?
I didn't like this show.
Yeah, it was
pretty
bad.
I don't understand.
What are some like big picture kind
show.
of things we can talk about here?
I think that this show might have been key in my like lack of interest in anime now. I think that this show was the nail in that coffin. Like it kind of killed like discussion surrounding the show. It's like granted,
how Darling and the FranXX killed anime forever.
Yeah, we've been doing this show
Subscribe
for a
to
while.
Munzie for my next video.
It's been like half a year or something, and it could be totally coincidental that I happened to fall off the anime community train while we were doing this. But I'd be lying if I said that I didn't at least suspect that this show was a fucking part of it, because this show sucks ass, and it brought out lots of nasty shit to light for me about like discussion surrounding shows and like the community's opinions on things. And it just made me realize that I really want to be here anymore. And by
Could
here, I
also
don't
be
mean
that
on
you
this
were
podcast,
involved with
but
more discussion about this show than any other show you may have been
that's absolutely what it is.
involved in before, and you just got like a big taste of the way, because this is like a lot of anime fans talk about this way about like a lot of shows. And I know, like when I say this, we're not pointing out
Yeah.
specifics. It just, when shows get big like this, that they get very contentious. This is kind of the nature of discussion about FranXX, is kind of how they tend to go.
Yeah.
And it could just be you just don't like talking about anime on the internet, which is totally defendable.
I'm gonna continue
100%.
being on this podcast though with you guys if everybody else is interested in that. But I don't know if you guys saw this, but I like shut down my whole YouTube channel. I don't have any videos up anymore.
Oh fuck, really?
Oh,
Uh,
didn't even know.
I'm not in any anime related Discord servers anymore. I don't go on I don't go on r/anime. I don't follow any anime people on Twitter that aren't in this Discord call right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm done.
Hashtag cut off.
Yeah,
Take that, anime
I did fully
community.
cut it off, and I was talking about it like a few months ago. I think I made a tweet. I was like, I think I'm done, guys. And then I ended up, I just sort of like backed away from it slowly to see how it felt. And
Yeah, it
I've been
definitely felt
gone
like
for
a
the
slow
past few months,
process.
and honestly, I don't miss it. So I'm
Yeah,
more
it's
preoccupied with music now.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna keep
That's
watching
what-
shit though, just on my. It's gonna be on my terms. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like we've been watching Emo, ironically.
We watch
kind of.
Oremo. That's true.
We watched
Yeah.
like 3
Me and
episodes
Lucy-
of
Yeah,
Black
that's
Clover.
basically
Ironically,
what we do. We
we
just
dropped it though. Mm.
watch whatever Lucy's just been watch whatever the fuck sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if you're not gonna watch shit you like, what's the point, you know? Though
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we
it's hard
watch
to find that
stupid bullshit that I don't like, but that's fine. Like when we just watch like random shows or whatever. But generally, yeah, it's been like I've been watching American movies too. Rediscovering my interest in that. That's fucking Raised from the Dead, actually. So
Yeah.
yeah, I used to talk shit about American movies like all the time. I like how this is just the fucking Lucy podcast.
What's
now.
going on in your life? I mean,
Come
I guess
on,
it's
Lucy,
the
tell us
end
what's
of
going on.
the first season of Trigger Boys, you know?
Yeah.
Like-
I want to. I mean, yeah.
We've
to me,
come a
this is
long
like-
way, you know?
Yeah, we have come a long way.
This has kind of been a part of our lives, even though we don't talk about our lives too much on here.
Yeah. So yeah, I used to hate American movies. I said it was like pretty much my least favorite medium. And now I've been like watching some. I've been finding like some favorites too. You know, like I watched Mad Max. I watched 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah, which
Watched
isn't a
Blade
favorite, but
Runner.
yeah.
Watched Return of the Living Dead. Watched Night of the Living Dead. All those were except 2001, which is kind of boring. All those were like pretty good, or pretty interesting at least. You know.
We also watched Tampopo, which was really awesome.
Oh
but it's not
fuck,
an American
Tampopo's
movie.
so good. Holy fuck! If anybody who's watching this right now, pull up Google, look up fucking Tampopo. It's this Japanese absurdist comedy movie. It's so fucking funny, dude. I loved Tampopo. Yeah,
It's really good. I also watched it. It's very, very good. Yeah. I mean, also like kind of when we stopped recording this show is kind of when I stopped making content for a good while. So I mean, I am in a new place in my life where that shit's gonna come a little bit easier. So expect some of that soon. I'm gonna be dropping my anime cipher.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's already dropped by the time this episode's out.
And I'm
we'll see.
excited to see you.
I'll
do
vamp.
more
I'll race
music,
you.
yeah.
I'll race you to see who can get out their video first. See if you can get out this podcast by the time I get my anime cipher out. My anime cipher is fucking fire though. These guys have heard it, so they know.
Yeah, it's fire.
So
Oh yeah, speaking of music, probably the last big thing for me is that I started playing guitar. So I'm like legit now. I'm a guitarist now.
Dude, we're talking about
learning.
this shit as if people like actually give a shit.
No, nobody
Because of like the
cares.
2 people that actually care about us that watch this show, they are not caught up.
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter. Everybody who like fucking our discussion about the show is like pretty done. I think.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited for any other Trigger show, really. Like,
Yeah,
I
dude.
can talk endlessly about Kill la Kill and Little Witch Academia.
Well, we're gonna do Kill Cast now that this shit's done with. I don't know when we're gonna start that, but that's gonna be on my channel.
Hopefully soon.
and
maybe
we
next
may or may not have another guest. We'll see. We'll see. That'll be a surprise for when it comes up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
May or may not have a new guest, and I get to rewatch Kill la Kill, which is gonna be awesome because I love
Vamp,
it.
what's been going on in your life?
All right. Yeah. I've been, getting out of. I think for most of FranXX, I was actually out of anime, watching it really. I've never been a big discusser on the internet. I mostly just was a person who came after high school.
Runs a
or
podcast talking about anime.
Nah, but everywhere else though, I'm not like some normie on Facebook, and even on Discord, I never really talked to anyone about anime. Mostly ironically meme or something, talk about politics or share things about politics. So I remember somewhere near the start of the show, FranXX, I was kind of watching stuff regularly. Then I completely dropped off until just kind of a week ago, where just all right, I'm not gonna just watch anything because I want to say I've watched it, So I'm
Kind of
just gonna watch whatever.
Yeah, I've been
kind of
doing the same thing. Only recently I've been kind of getting back into the anime grind, catching up on shows that I had in my watching list and stuff.
Oh,
Crazy shit. I do. If they're still around, I appreciate all the viewers that came here for FranXX discussion. I think we should give our final thoughts on FranXX, and if after that we've got more life shit, more updates. I mean, we'll have some announcements at the end of the show, I'm sure. But
oh yeah. So,
but I think we should give some final thoughts on Darling in the FranXX.
Yeah, we do have to get to our scores.
We do. The very
True.
important scores. The most important thing most important opinion you can have about any piece of art is your score for it.
Yeah, an arbitrary number of arbitrary
most
scale.
important. That's all that
yeah.
matters. That conveys all the information.
Everything. No nuance at all, but that's fine. Because all of it's in the number. Right?
It's got to be a 1 through a 10, and that's it. That's all your options. You no more.
All right.
Don't listen to this podcast. Skip. If
Here's
you're listening to this podcast, skip to the end. Don't start from the beginning. Skip to the end. And just see the scores. You know how when you watch an Anthony Fantana review, and you instead of watching the review, you just scroll down into his description to see what he scored it.
I should put it down there. I should put our scores. Oh my gosh.
Melons.
So who wants to go first?
All right.
I kind of want to work through it
So
myself.
scores are kind of meaningless to me now. I decided I hate them. I tore it all down. I tore my scores down off of my mal. So that knowing that, I give this a 1 out of 10.
Alrighty.
No, I am serious though. It sucks.
Yeah.
Just know that
All right.
because I haven't been thinking about it that much, it doesn't carry that much weight. But yeah, this is a really bad show.
So I'm gonna give my score because I think Vamp's gonna have the most interesting score of any of us. I'm also gonna give Darling in the FranXX a 1, and for our longtime listeners, this should come as no surprise to any of you. This show is garbage. It's one of my least favorite shows, if not my least favorite show. I really hate it a lot.
You do hate it to a comedic level.
I do. Well, my 1 out of 10. So my score for this is a 1 out of 10, like Lucy. But my ones are very special to me because my ones are shows that actively make me angry or upset at their existence. So my ones are shows that I want to watch under no conditions whatsoever. I never want to watch my ones ever again. They make me mad thinking about them. I really And they're special. If a show is just like does nothing for me and just like, oh, this is the animation's bad, the writing's bad, yada yada yada, yeah, it's bad, obviously. That gets a 2. This show has to do something special to my emotions to make me hate it, and that's where
then by your scale, I would say this is a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do not like Darling in the FranXX. And you know what's funny? I right when Darling in the FranXX came out, after the first episode, before we even recorded episode 1 of this podcast, I made a vlog on my YouTube channel called "Darling in the FranXX is terrible and I hate it." Now,
this.
I don't really like this video anymore because it was kind of just some like tinfoil hat conspiracy about how it was made, and it didn't really talk about the quality of the show that much. It did. I talked about the elements of the first episode, and it is funny now to see people commenting
all
like
of
the way the
your
comments
comment
has
section
changed.
was blown up with people saying that you were judging the show too harshly, too early.
And then at the
Initially,
end,
when the
I've had
video
people come in and
released.
it's like, yeah, this show's actually terrible.
Yeah, I mean, we had
It's
Jeff
like-
Thu, who was probably the biggest YouTuber who was praising the show, come out and say that it was a fucking dumpster fire.
Now, like, if your experience watching a show is, I liked it at first and it got really bad, so be it.
Yeah, that's valid.
But I'm not gonna say I didn't call it. Just
Because you did
So-
call it. And also, I think more importantly, to anybody out there who has ever said you're judging a show too harshly, too early, fuck you. Go and fucking die in a hole. People can have their opinions whenever they want, however harshly they want. All right? And that counter criticism is fucking stupid and pointless. Fuck you. Also, Munzie was right about his opinion in the end anyways.
Free speech or no speech, kids. Get used to it.
I vote no speech
Me too.
because it sounds like a nice challenge.
Only
It's the quiet
communicate
game.
through,
Everybody ready to play the
text.
quiet game?
Yo, it's like
You lost,
when you're
bitch.
in 6th grade and we're playing Silent Ball.
Oh, fucking Silent Ball.
Yo, also the quiet game is the greatest way to shut up a car full of like 7-year-olds.
Yeah, that's the idea.
You could be like,
It's genius.
because that's the best shit. It's just like, all right, we're gonna play a game. It's called the quiet game. Whoever stays quiet the longest gets $5, and to a 7-year-old, $5 is like $1 million. So
No sense
easiest shit in the world. Like, I don't babysit, but I think I would be a fantastic babysitter because
Bribe your
I
kids.
would just carry like $10 in ones every day I went to babysit and just like give out $1 bills for them to like shut the fuck up. Like,
Great babysitting.
That's easy babysitting. Not good.
yeah, it's literally just saying it's like money gets you what you want. It's just teaching kids from a very young age. If you give people money, they'll do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true. Which is true.
Yeah?
Money makes the world go round. Kids
Like how
get used to it.
A1 Pictures gave Studio Trigger money so that they could make this awful, terrible show. Right? Like I mean that's kind of what happened a little bit.
Oh yeah, I would love
All right,
to know
I got
exactly
nothing
why.
more to talk about except that's a lie.
I
That's a
do need to
total lie.
go.
I do wanna plug. Like we
Munzie,
mentioned it already.
Vamp hasn't given his score yet.
Oh, Vamp hasn't
I
even
thought he- I
scored.
thought-
Fuck, Vamp's no go.
Sorry, I
Vamp.
thought,
Fucking
Munzie, you were gonna
controlling
say
the
something else.
podcast and rambling.
All right, stop. All right, so, I think I'm gonna give this series a 3.
Wow.
Why is that? Well, that's a good question.
You gave this show a 7 at a certain point.
Yeah, because it goes up and down. I need. This is what I need to explain is
Okay.
that there's a few episodes. I'm sure you can remember those who've listened to the whole series, where there's some good episodes I said because it's it may not be like deep or anything or give us any lore, but it's kind of like trashy fun, and I like those kind of things, and I find it above average enjoyable, but. Unfortunately, FranXX didn't dive into that very deeply at all. So when I did call in the beginning that, this is probably going to be like a 6 or something in that ballpark. It was a bit silly. And it was also me kind of like trying to, not on purpose being contrarian, but there's like an aspect of me like, if people think it's going to be like this, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's in the other direction. Who knows? Very skeptical kind of person, but to my dismay sometimes. So I give it a 3 because on my scale, 3s are where most of the shitty spin-offs and stuff that I really don't like for the specific reason of it either tricked me, not because I'm not literate with anime, but because it like, put in a whole bunch of bullshit in it, and it was also boring, and it did sort of have that some good moments, but it's overall just so boring that I don't even know how I got through it. Most likely, FranXX would have been a 4 if it didn't have those sort of good moments. Honestly, some of those good moments, because at least then I wouldn't have been so. There wouldn't be such an inconsistency here. So,
can you name your favorite moment in Darling in the Franxx that you thought was like a genuinely good moment, or least bad moment? Because that's might be applicable.
So, probably one of them. I think about this episode, though it may not be the best, or the least bad, but I remember the episode where there was the pillow fight, not the pillow fight, but the episode where the men, the females and the boys had the house divided. And the females come mad at the guys, and that became its whole episode. It was very silly.
It's a pretty what the fuck episode. I mean, every episode of this is kind of a what the fuck episode for me, but...
Oh yeah, because early on in the series, I remember episode 2 kind of having like some story stuff and it being kind of progressing at a pretty decent rate. You know, showing us some new stuff early on. That was a really hopeful episode, but overall, I like that episode that I described earlier.
God, you guys remember
like
episode 1 of this show? Because I remember that my opinion of episode 1 was like, it doesn't look good, but it was not... I did not anticipate the level that we would be operating at, to be honest.
Yeah. For me, it was since the contrarian in me took over a little too much, I do admit, where I was just like, it wasn't that melodramatic, you know? It was just like, just kind of how they start off the series. It's not going to be like the rest of this.
Vamp, I love how you say contrarian, but it's really only contrarian to us because, like, more people love this show than hate this show.
I don't care about the rest of the people. So when I say
guess
contrarian,
it's contrarian to have a
contrarian
nuanced
to
opinion
guys.
In
Yeah,
this
that
fucking
makes
day and
any
age,
sense.
right? I said it's contrarian to have a nuanced opinion in this day and age.
That's true.
So we're all contrarian on that point.
I don't know. I feel like my opinions are usually actually not very nuanced. So...
Yeah, I mean maybe everyone's is, and they just don't expressed it in a nuanced way, because I feel like we're all just kind of reading our emotions here.
Yeah.
Just telling how we felt about it. Other than when we get into the plot stuff of the series, that's when we're like kind of being like actually critical about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we could just kind of ignore that. I know some people can't, but. It didn't bother me too much, but when you do think about it while watching the show, it's a bit silly. So, yeah, I can't believe I watched each episode, like, at least twice.
Yeah, been crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's plug stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, announcements, plugs. Munzie,
All right.
go.
All right. First big announcement. We mentioned it a little bit earlier in this podcast, but we are still going to be continuing with the Trigger Bois series after Darling in the Franxx, or since Darling in the Franxx is now concluded. Keep an eye out on my channel. It's Munzie, Munsy. I'm sure Vamp is going to have a link in the description. Mm-hmm. So if you go subscribe to my channel, we're going to be doing the Kill La Kill podcast next. And I believe either while we're doing that or after that's done, we're going to do very shortly when they come out, we're going to do the Gridman and the Promare Trigger Boys once those shows start airing in the next year or
Gridman
two.
is coming out soon.
Yeah,
Really soon. I
Gridman
think it's
soon.
this season.
And then we have Promare later.
Wait,
So
what the?
we're-
I know I sound like an idiot. What the fuck is Gridman?
It's the the next Trigger show. The next Trigger show.
So that's not Promare?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It had
Alright.
really bland branding, but now that they have more like art out, it actually looks pretty interesting. At least
Alright,
We'll
I'll-
see.
design
Yeah,
wise.
I mean,
Give it a
it's
shot.
Trigger. We're the Trigger Boys. That's what we're gonna do.
Yep.
All right. But Kill La Kill is gonna come. That's definitely happening. And then we're gonna be doing probably one of those two after or during the Kill La Kill. And then we'll see where it goes after that. But we definitely do plan on hitting all the Trigger shows if possible. Old ones, new ones, whatever.
I'm always pushing these guys to put out one-off podcasts like Undertale, like our movie one that we did, because
Absolutely.
that stuff's really interesting to me. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to fit that in. I was hoping that between the last episode of Trigger Boys and now we would have done one, but we didn't. And that's okay. So
Yeah,
I'm just
but
hoping that
definitely keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
we'll be putting stuff not on my channel anymore. You can go ahead and unsubscribe from my channel if you want, because nothing's coming out on there ever again.
Until Lucy starts putting out music.
Nope, it's not going on YouTube. I don't think.
Oh shit!
Or if it does,
All
it's
right.
gonna be under a different
Yeah,
name.
but definitely subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna keep having I'm gonna be back on the grind with content pretty shortly. If not, since this video's already been out, so subscribe to Munzie. We'll be doing Kill La Kill cast over there. Then me and Vamp are gonna fight over who gets Gridman. And we'll figure out the rest from there. But definitely keep an eye out because those are coming up. If you have an interest in Trigger like we do, and you want to hear our thoughts on all their shows. And I think as these podcasts go on, as we do more, we're going to start being able to make comparisons between them, learning more about who worked on what, and be able to make some pretty interesting conclusions about the studio as a whole, as well as the individual shows. So I'm pretty excited for those. Other than that, I am kind of going to start dipping my toes into different fields than anime, probably spreading out, maybe making music or talking about music. I've already made a video about music. Maybe
We should do a
some
music
more stuff on movies,
podcast.
etc., etc. I am down for podcasting 100%. I like podcasts. They're a blast. So stick around. I think I've spent too long plugging, so I'm going to pass it on to Vamp to see if Vamp has anything
All right.
he wants to plug.
So, for my content, I'm gonna announce that yes, the long-awaited Violet Evergarden video will be coming out basically before this is actually released.
Wow, hasn't that
So-
been in the works for like months?
Yeah, I've been working on it real hard, and you guys will see the full effort in that.
Whoa!
Is
I
it-
didn't even know about this.
I didn't even know that you were fucking building a bomb that you were gonna drop on us. Is that what's happening?
Holy
listen.
shit! Oh, I'm so excited now.
I'm excited.
All right. So imagine me picking up a webcam
hmm
and just rambling into it. That's
Uh-huh.
gonna be the video.
Oh.
So I wasn't actually working on anything. I didn't want to give you guys the wrong idea
Babe,
here.
you got me so excited.
I thought
I
you were
was
building
wanting
the
to
next
surprise the
Astro
audience
Tour
by them
sucks.
seeing it and being like, "This is a shit video."
Yeah, about
and
to,
he's like
about to
less
drop,
than a minute long.
About to drop just like this bomb of a video and just blow up on AnyTube overnight
Oh yeah.
about Violet Evergarden.
That
That'd be crazy.
I am a person who sort of like does stuff in the dark and then just kind of comes out. It's like surprise. That's sort
So,
of.
do you got something else
prototypical
cooking,
things.
or is this it?
So that was a meme thing first. I wanted to be like, hey, this is gonna be like, I want to fake out the audience, but with the low quality video, thinking, oh yeah, this person's been working on it. No, I haven't. So my actual announcement would, if you like Monkey Jones,
Oh,
subscribe to my Vamp Cavendish channel
Oh,
because content
man.
will be coming out that I think the same sort of audience will appreciate.
Oh,
And that's
boy.
going to be actual content. So
right.
that's what I'm going to be doing for stuffs. Also, recommend any random podcasts, whether you want me to do a solo podcast or podcast with anyone individual. I'll podcast with these Trigger Boys here that aren't trigger related, for things that aren't trigger related or that are, or literally random people on the internet, depending if they're not complete assholes or crazy people. But I would love to experiment and meet new people. That's all I got. Any last words,
I got
guys?
nothing else. Subscribe to Munzy. Go watch all my videos.
Subscribe
Like
to
and
Monkey
subscribe.
All
Follow
right.
my tweets. Follow me
Listen
on
to more
Instagram.
music.
Eat the cocaine.
Learn to
Care
suck
about
your own dick.
politics.
Don't care about politics.
Don't be
Care about
radical. Be a
politics.
moderate.
Be a radical.
Goodbye.
Don't be radical. No. Bye-bye.
Bye.